the agenda with me, Lasha Kingsley, in Douala, Cameroon. Even before the Minister of Public Health of Cameroon, Dr. Manaouda Malachi, took to the Twitter to announce that Cameroon would soon be entering a more complicated phase of the coronavirus pandemic, a group of young Cameroonians who constitute themselves into an association called the Green Entrepreneur were out at Marché Cité de Palmiers during the week to disinfect the market as well as sensitize the population on the dangers of the COVID pandemic in Cameroon. They equally distributed some COVID-19 kits to traders at the Cité de Palmiers market. The chief operating officer of the association, Atemken Albert, is guest on the agenda this week. I'll be right back. Chief Operating Officer of the Green Entrepreneur at Temenken Albert. Welcome to the agenda.
Mr. Lasha Kingsley, it's an honor for me to be part of you, and I wish to say hi to your thousands and millions of viewers around the world.
This is the first time, or probably you, on the agenda on My Media Prime Television. It is always our tradition for our guests, for their very first time, to tell the viewers more about themselves before we dive into serious business.
Just to mention a little word of myself, Atemken Albert, as a young Cameroonian, with the educational background, a certified supply chain specialist, master's in supply chain, common law degree at the University of Yaoundé Toussoua, and a sales executive in the transport company here in Cameroon that joins the hands within the CEMAC region.
That's a very rich professional educational background there. What motivated you into, forming this association? Many people hear of the name the Green Entrepreneur, and the first thing that comes to their mind will be business inclined. Can you tell us what motivated you, and what do you people do on a daily basis?
Coming to our motivations, we Cameroonians, we have education, and there is a need to join in all the different milieus. The local, those are not privileged to go to school, those have gone to school, those that are less privileged. So it was a necessity for us, seeing that let everyone join in, let everyone be put together in this kind of an association where we provide trainings to Bayam Selams, we provide trainings to bike riders, and it was important for us to come up with an association that would instill in people taking the bold step. Taking the bold step as an entrepreneur, it's primordial, because we see there are a lot of people out there, a lot of youths, a lot of junior ones that have ideas, that have projects, but they shy off, they're afraid. So it was primordial for the Green Entrepreneur to instill in young people the entrepreneurship and professionalism, and through this we were able to come up with the initiative of bringing in green, which is environment, ecological, and entrepreneurship, bringing it together to give out the name, the Green Entrepreneur, so that young people, in us taking the bold step in doing their individual activities, may also think of the environment and the ecosystem as well.
You were seen recently at Marché Cité de Palmiers here in the nation's economic capital, Douala, sensitizing the traders as well as distributing face masks and some COVID-19 kits in your own little way to kick out the disease out of Cameroon. And you equally disinfected the market, the first ever association, let me put it that way, or organization to do that in Cameroon, private initiative. How did you do it?
First of all, I want to begin that the Green Entrepreneur, as of now, is in 3 principal regions: the Southwest, the Littoral, and the Center region. So it's an association of youths that have come together. And so at the level of our national executive, we brainstormed and we saw the necessity to support the government. The government can't do all alone, and it was for our own little bring together that we saw that it was important to go down to the field and sensitize particularly our local Bayam Selams that coronavirus is real and it kills, and everyone needs to respect the different barrier measures. So we, at the level of the Yaoundé 3 in particular, the Sam Market, we did a little bit of sensitizations and were able to share some kits as well. So after the first experience, we saw that it was necessary to do it in Douala as well. And at this level in Douala, we thought it otherwise, calling in other companies to support such an initiative, which we were fortunate enough to have one that really abide to our initiative. So the company, as you noticed, disinfected the market on behalf of the group.
So you partnered with the company?
Yes, we did partner with the company.
So how do you get your funding? You see an association, not at the level of an organization yet, because the law of Cameroon does not permit that. So how did you raise the money to be able to do what you did?
Oh, I would say our members are very much awakened. They are conscious. They understand our vision. So when this was put on the table, everyone really mobilized themselves to be able to raise up such resources to be able to have what we did at the State Family Market.
So how old is your association?
1 year, 6 months.
And you're able to carry out with this kind of mighty project, disinfecting a whole big market.
Yes.
That sounds big.
Yes, it sounds big, and you start from somewhere to get somewhere. So I would want to give a special thanks to FITO and Global Services, because they really saw the association initiative of doing such an activity, and they said, wow, it's great, and we are young people, so
during your speech, I mean, when you were sensitizing the people at the Cité du Palmier market, you were caught, or you were heard saying that, or cautioning the population to respect the barrier measures because the government alone cannot do it. When you move around and see what is happening, the way people live their life amid the coronavirus, are you worried? Will you end at the level of the market, or are you planning to go to other areas where the situation, people still think coronavirus is a child's play?
I will tell you on an honest note, the coronavirus is a serious call of concern. We have seen how devastating it can be. And before the outbreak of this virus, I think we didn't understand the impact of keeping yourself clean, of respecting hygiene in general. Yes, it's true, at the very remote areas, some people still feel that it's not real. But the number of people that have gone, out the number of cases, as you could notice this weekend, the Minister of Public Health,
1,000
additional cases. So it's a serious call for concern. And we have, on the future note, we will get into schools as well to sensitize. And since our association also has a foundation of training, we are also going to, through this sensitization, provide as well academic trainings. And in our milieu, we have health practitioners that would also train the kids on how to produce these alcoholic gels, hand sanitizers, so that at least they have the little know-how to be able to, at the level of their homes, they can help themselves and help their families.
School resumes in under a week, let's say in 1 week time. We'll have students of the examination classes, as well as pupils of the class 6 at the level of the primary education. The measures being put in place by the government to ensure that this effective resumption of schools are not very much appreciated by many Cameroonians, especially teachers' trade unions. If you were to advise the government, since you are into education and sensitization, what will you tell the government to do for kids to go back to school and be in an environment that is safe from coronavirus?
Oh, you know, the government has already taken the decision to want to resume school. So the only advice we can give them is to create more awareness in school milieu. Let the school administrators respect the different barrier measures. Let children come to school, ensure that they have their face masks. If schools should take in at the different respective levels, buckets, waters for regularly washing of hands, any teacher getting to class to ensure that everybody wash their hands for each class. So the regular washing of hands would also help in preventing the spread.
Talking about regular washing of hands, most of the trade unions in Cameroon, they say that government should reduce the number of pupils and students to 24 per classrooms. If not, they are not going back to school. Don't you think the other measures they are talking about will not necessarily really put the kids at a safer end when it comes to, you know, their interaction in the school milieu?
It's primordial, it's important from the different trade unions saying that there should be a certain respect of social distancing. Thank God we are even limiting it just to the examination classes. So you could see that at different school levels, since the other classes, the Form 1 to 5 to Form 4 and the lower seats are not present, the different school administrators can make use of the other classrooms to really expand.
What about the teachers? The number of teachers now, it means they have to recruit more teachers. Because if a class that used to host 60 and you
have to divide it by 2
to 2 or 3 classrooms, it means that we need 3 additional, or they will do a kind of rotation.
They can do a kind of rotation.
Subject, so
it's more better. It's a kind of rotation that means we properly plan the school timetable. And since in the different classrooms, people are in an alphabetical order, you could go in alphabetical order to keep the first 24 in a class, and the next day or 3 hours later, or the class are really properly planned. So I think that if at the level of the different schools, the classes are segregated to use the other classrooms, and that a proper timetable is given at the school level, I think we can as well respect social distancing.
Okay, coronavirus crisis has greatly affected the way at which companies operate around the world. As an association that has to do with fighting climate change, is one of your goals, your milestone, fighting climate change. Who or how can you raise hope, or what do you have to say about pollution in Cameroon as regards, you know, this issue that companies are no longer operating? Is it good news for Cameroon and the world? Most of the companies are not operating, and you're into fighting climate change.
What I would say is coronavirus has really pushed the world to rethink on how to move forward, because with the different massive industrialization, with companies really polluting, it's important that we rethink on the way forward. And coronavirus has put us on a pause to be able to use other social aspects of our lives, like the video calls, the conference calls, more than on a one-to-one basis interaction, the work in shifts instead of everybody being present, the shutdown of some machines on some days instead of having it run down 24 hours. So you see that coronavirus, is true, it has ravished people, but it has also permitted us think of a way forward of how to grow as a society and as an industry. Because you see now, industries like the e-commerce are taking more weight, more than the white collar jobs or the standardized employments that we used to have. And you see that some other people, some other less jobs, like you see the shoe menders, for instance, have been affected. But in the long run, with the different scientific research, with the different at the level of Monseigneur Samuel Cleda with the medications, I think we will be able to combat this coronavirus.
And some people are raising concerns at which the manner in which people use face mask at the level of they are saying that in the long run many people will suffer from respiratory problems because you need fresh air to breathe. Many people cover their nostrils, they send out hot air and take in the same hot air. So when you sensitize people, what do you tell them? How do you educate them on the use of face masks, as well as the dumping or the disposal of these face masks, as they pose environmental threat to the population?
You know that as of what we are seeing now, we have gone from the pharmaceutical face mask to the tailor-made face mask. You get it? So there is really a certain shift. People are able to afford, because if you could think 4 or 5 months ago, the pharmaceutical face masks, we had them maybe at 100 or 200 francs.
Yeah.
Today, at the levels of our different pharmacies, you could get it at 1,000 francs. So many people cannot afford it. So it is important during that sensitization that we explain to people that the pharmaceutical face mask is not something that is reusable. You have to deposit them at different trash cans. It's not being loitered around, because there are some videos or images that circulate on social media on people washing the pharmaceutical face masks for reusage. Be very careful. It's not very, very hygienic. Now, on the other hand, with our tailor face masks, it proposed to us a solution for those who cannot afford the pharmaceutical masks, where you could have them washed and take serious note to seriously iron them before you can use it. So it's important that we don't throw them around to the environment, but we put them at the respective trash cans where it is easily disposed.
And talking about the respiratory problem many people are raising, how should face masks be used?
You know, with this coronavirus that is out, if you are able to respect the social distancing, then you can permit yourself some few minutes of the face mask. But without which, if you are in a crowded milieu or you are at the incapacity to have a 1 meter distance, I think it's primordial you have your face mask, because you don't know who. The coronavirus is not on the face, so you don't know who has it.
Coronavirus is not on the face.
Yes, you really don't know who could have it and who doesn't. So you could even feel as healthy as possible, but you're a carrier of the disease, of the bacterium. So it's important that it's true in the long run we might have a respiratory problem, but it's important for now, since we are still in the phase of looking for a solution, a scientific solution to the COVID-19, it's important that we have our face masks on to avoid contamination.
When you look at the statistics about climate change, pollution before and now that the coronavirus is around, what is your own appraisal of the statistics about how polluted the world was before the coronavirus and now that we have the coronavirus?
As I earlier mentioned, coronavirus has really made us rethink the way forward. As I said, a lot of companies shut down, were able to diversify their means of production, their means of communication, their means of interaction. So it was coronavirus put us on the standstill where we could think other ways to go about producing, and it has really influenced the reduction of pollution in the world. So coronavirus, it's true, it has killed people, but it has at least made us think of our future.
So let's come back to talk about your next plan of action after you've been in Yaoundé, you've carried out the sensitization in Yaoundé, you've been in Douala as well. So what is your next target? Where are you planning to move to?
We have a series of upcoming projects. As the green entrepreneur, we are going to attack the school milieu to sensitize the kids, our junior ones, on how serious the virus is.
What are the targets? The schools in the urban centers or rural areas?
Mixed. It's not only for urban centers.
Okay.
It's mixed up. We're really getting into real remote areas where you have less privileged people. And also in our future plans, we are in partnership with Namen Recycling at the level of Yaoundé. We are preparing the World Environment Day, and we have a series of activities on a week, run activities, debates on the environment, walk for sensitization as well on the importance of the environment. So we are planning production of recycled trash cans with plastic bottles. So in a short run, we have some of these activities that we are planning. We have other internal projects for our members, young entrepreneurs, in boosting their project writings in terms of their little private individual businesses, if I could mention that word, so they could also take the bold step in becoming entrepreneurs.
Okay, at the level of the states, the government, have you been able to meet with any of the government officials, since you mentioned a while ago that the government alone cannot fight the coronavirus, and we've had ministers, you have government calling for the Cameroonian people to put hand on deck in order to kick out coronavirus. Have you been able to meet one of the top government officials to discuss your project?
As of now, no, we haven't met any top government official, but you could understand with us that at least from the sensitization campaign we did both in Yaoundé and in Douala, we got our legal authorizations to do such an activity at the level of the Douala Urban Council. So we were able to meet there, and we exposed our initiative, which they really appreciated and gave us the authorization to do such an act, upon the fact that we, after such an activity, we will prepare our reports to at least show the Urban Council that we are an association that is meant to grow, and it also wants to contribute to nation building.
You got the authorization at the level of the Urban Council. We've seen other associations, members of other associations being arrested for distributing face masks and COVID-19 kits. Why is your own case different? Or why is their case different? You didn't go to the Ministry of Territorial Administration, for example,
Not
but
at all.
you were free, you were able to distribute COVID-19 kits in Yaoundé and as well as Douala without being arrested by anybody. So what is the issue? What is happening?
I would say we are honest. We do not have any bias feeling. We do not have any political intention. We do not have any ill thought. We went on an honest note, on a very transparent note, explaining what we wanted to do, and so we were very much supported by the Urban Council, and we also at the level of the different markets. So I would say we are transparent. We do not have anything to hide, any hidden agenda. So we are transparent.
So what are you advising other Cameroonians and young people who want to do same like you, the right quotas to follow after having the authorization from the Ministry of Territorial Administration? Does it end at that level? What do they need to do to be able to assist Cameroonians? Because many of them have the means, but they don't know
what channel
to go about supporting Cameroonians to fight this deadly pandemic.
At the level of our nation, everything begins at the level of the Ministry of Territorial Administration, and the Ministry of Territorial Administration has a sub right up to the divisional levels and right up to the quarter heads. So getting the right channel is important. So if you're choosing the market, you need to sit on a one-to-one base with the legal representative of the market that would orientate you. Because, for instance, if you noticed, we first of all channeled our petition to the Douala 5 Council, but when we went on the field to speak with the legal representative of the Cité de Palmier market, she made us understand that the Douala 5 is not her hierarchy. The Douala 5 is not her market is under the Douala 5 jurisdiction. Her market is under the Douala City Council jurisdiction. So it was important that you get to know where to go to. It's important to know where you need to go to. So from there, we were able to channel our official letter addressed to the Douala City Council mayor of the town. So so we got our authorizations at a very clean and legal note.
So you went about it, you did your job. Many Cameroonians. So what has been the response ever since you started with this project? The feedback you get from the population?
Positive, very positive. Even for those that were on the field, could see the ambience, the welcome that we received from the locals, from our mothers and fathers that are sellers in the market. They were really, they really appreciated the initiative. They were very happy on the fact that we were able to sensitize them, we were able to support them with some kits, and at least we have positive feedbacks. So it's a call for young people to join our association, to be part of us, to be able to get their trainings, to be able to grow with us, and hopefully we will get to higher heights.
Hopefully we'll get to higher height. Chief Operation Officer of the Green Entrepreneur, thanks so much for accepting to be part of this edition of the agenda. It was a pleasure having you.
Oh, the pleasure is mine, and feel free to invite me another time.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.